Welcome to the Wellness League podcast with your host Ella, and today my friend is Susanna Parkinson. Susanna's an incredible trainer. She runs OSX personal training and she actually taught me to be a PT. So, shall we dive in? All right, let's get started. So, firstly, who are you?
Hi Ella, it's lovely to be here today. Very exciting to be here. So my name is Susanna Parkinson. I own OSX Outdoor Group Training and also personal training, but the main focus is outdoor group fitness.
Lovely. So, what's your earliest memory of being fit?
I have always loved moving. I remember as a child we had a big sort of veranda outside, and I was always climbing up the poles and always doing chin-ups. And I remember on year 7 camp we had a chin-up competition, and I don't know, whipped out 50 or something and totally smashed all the others out of the water. So I think I was always naturally fitter than the other kids, and I think my family just embraced a lot of action and activity. So I was really lucky growing up on the Yorke Peninsula, water skiing and diving and snorkeling and always running about and in boats, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I started playing Minky in year 4.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we rode bikes a lot. So I've always been into movement.
Yeah. Did you play much sport as a kid as well?
I played Minky initially and then got into hockey, which I absolutely loved. And I wasn't all that good at it, but I was fast.
Yeah.
And I was verbal. So I think rather than having incredible skills, I was just I was a big team player. So I had an impact in that aspect.
I think that's almost more important than being a good individual player as well, because you're bringing the whole team up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd like to think that was the way. So I always played well, and always sort of used my voice and loved it. I think that was the biggest thing. And then I rowed as well. I rowed at school.
Yep.
Loved rowing. Loved swimming as well. Played a bit of water polo, bit of everything. A lot of water skiing.
Hey, there's a bit of a rumour. You played water polo with somebody else we've interviewed.
Oh, Millie. Yeah,
I've heard that's the water polo scene though. It's quite niche.
Yeah, do you know, I can't even claim to that because I seriously didn't even play for that long. But I know a lot of people who did, so maybe they think that I played with them, but I didn't. I've got lots of friends who have done a lot of it and have loved it, and it's a good sport, active sport. It's fast paced and the games are really quick as well.
Yeah.
My daughter plays now.
Oh, cool.
And it means we're not sitting out on an oval for 5 hours like a cricket game. We're sort of in and out, and it's good.
Is it hard to sit and watch them play in the water and not want to jump in and cool off?
I do love being by the water, and I do get jealous whenever people are in the water. It's a bit like when other people are exercising, all my clients, and I get really jealous of the endorphins that they're experiencing while I'm telling them what to do. Yeah.
So going back to being a trainer, when did you become a trainer? Where did that come from?
So as I mentioned, I've always loved being active, and I've always loved sport and running and cycling and swimming and surfing and snow skiing. It's just part of my blood. And I went to university and I did recreation planning and management and also communications at McGill. And I love that industry, and I worked for an outdoor education company for a long time, which I loved. And then I was an event manager, actually, the event manager for SA Great, which was really fun. But I got pregnant quite quickly.
Yeah.
And so I was there for a year, and then I had my first child, Octavia, who is now almost 15. And I just knew that when I had her, I did not want to go back to full-time work in an office in the city. So I kind of worked out that the best way for me to be able to earn an income with a family was to become a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So when she was 8 weeks old, I signed up to do my Cert 4, Cert 3 and 4 in fitness through AIPT and got straight into it, and I loved it. And I had at the time a really great mentor, and I just embraced everything he said, and I lived it, and I started working for him. And that was sort of that turning point for my career. That's when I just got into personal training and group fitness and fell in love with it.
Yeah, nice. Were you in training yourself in that kind of stuff before you got pregnant too?
I was attending a gym a lot. So I lived in Ovingham, and I was going to a great gym, just in Brompton, which was fantastic, and I loved it. So I was really inspired by some of those instructors. There was one instructor, I don't know who she is. Her name was Emma. She had blonde hair. She'd come in for the attack classes and the pump classes, and I remember looking at her thinking, you are awesome. If I can have your energy, I would just be delighted. And I
Yeah.
think she really inspired me. It's
How
really
good
cool.
when you see a trainer like that and want to be like them in your own kind of career. And then, so in between getting qualified, where was your first working place and then starting up your little boot camp?
I lived across the road from the Adelaide Aquatic Centre.
Right.
And in there is a fantastic gym. And my old boss from SA Great was being trained by the manager of the gym at the Adelaide Aquatic Centre.
Oh, crazy.
So she had mentioned me to him, and either I called him or he called me, and I went and had a chat with him, and straight away he just said, right, when can you start? Which was really exciting.
Yeah.
And I had two kids by then, maybe. But it just meant that I had this fantastic job with a really great team right across the road from my house.
Yeah.
So it was super flexible. I could book in clients when it worked. I could get home in time for the kids to get home from childcare or kindy and whatever they were doing at that time. There were the pools there, so I went and got my aqua aerobics instructor certificate, which I loved. Jumping around.
I have to ask about aqua though, right?
Yeah.
How do you get your head around not being able to see their legs? I accidentally got pulled into teacher class back when I was working in a gym because the instructor didn't turn up. And I just couldn't get my head about being a land trainer, then standing on the side of a pool, you're telling them what to do, but you can't see anything. So you're like, are you really training? Or
Yeah, that's funny. You can't see posture or you can't anything. Yeah, I think it's just that constant verbal encouragement to make sure they're pulling their belly button in towards their spine, holding their body straight, and you can see a bit of body action under the water. You can certainly see if someone's not actually working hard, and you can see it in their faces, and you can see it in their eyes and how they're breathing and things like that. But I really embraced aqua. I loved it. I've got a bit of a I don't know if you've heard about the 4 different birds of characteristics, and you
Let's
can
go
do
on
this.
about it. Everybody's going to ask.
There's owl, peacock, dove, and an eagle, and you can do these tests, and so often if you go into a new job, management, for example, might come in and trying to work out your personality and where you'll fit into the team or your strengths and weaknesses.
So just another type of a personality test.
Exactly, yeah. And it's the bird test. And so the peacocks, as you can imagine, are quite flamboyant, and I've got quite a bit of peacock in me. Yeah. I've got a bit of dove as well, and then I don't have much eagle. I sort of almost, in fact, one of my bosses once said that I need to get more eagle into me, but I wasn't very interested in that. It's quite funny. And yeah, a bit of owl as well, bit of wisdom, but mostly sort of peacock. And so that aspect of my character really comes out on the side of the pool, because it's almost like you're up on a stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like when you're doing something like that, you've kind of jumped into like a different personality of yourself? Like, it's really hard to explain, but it's almost like you're in another person when you have to give all that energy. Then as soon as the class finishes, like, you go back to normal. Yeah,
that's funny you should say that. So as soon as the music goes on, it is like the lights are on and you're on stage. It's really interesting. And I probably, what you just mentioned then, felt more than ever when I was pregnant with my 6-year-old, who is standing right next to me, because I was so sick. And so I was arriving at work and feeling horrible, but just kind of had to smile, and then I had to kind of turn the music on, turn around and pretend like I felt amazing, because I wanted everyone else to feel amazing. Yeah. But inside I was just feeling absolutely wretched. So that was a real test for me, until I told everyone I was pregnant, obviously, to really turn the energy on and put that performance on, and I had to dig deep to do that. Yeah.
So from there, are you still teaching aqua classes?
No. So I think 2 years ago, having been at the Adelaide Aquatic Centre for 10 years, I finally finished up.
Wow.
Which was huge for me. And yeah, I had the most beautiful send-off from the Aquatic Centre. It was gorgeous. At the Aquatic Centre, there are a lot of older clientele. Yeah. And
I find that a lot of those like council run setups, you always find that kind of, which is great.
It's really great. Well, it's affordable as well. Yeah. And from being there for so long, I had the most beautiful following of the most beautiful human beings. Yeah. And they wrote the most beautiful cards and gave me the most beautiful gifts, and for my baby as well, they brought in so many things.
good. And so when you were working at the Aquatic Centre, you did a lot of stuff through their council as well, as in promoting fitness in the park and, like the equipment around North Adelaide. That was really cool.
It's really good. I think because I was there for so long, I had a chance to recognise all my different energies and skills, I suppose, that I had to offer. So even after I'd left, I was doing work for them. So my first job for them, actually, before I even worked for them, I think, was emceeing the brand, like the opening of the new centre after it had the new roof put in. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. And that moved on. That came from the work that I used to do in television.
Right.
I left that bit out as well.
Yeah, let's go back.
I used to work for Channel 9. So funny.
No, that's what happens with podcasting. It kind of like you find something that you forget, then you go off in it, but then just keeps getting better.
Sure.
So just go where you like.
So funny. So when I finished up working for the outdoor education company, I knew that I didn't want to do that forever. And I knew that I also wanted to have a family, and it's pretty hard to have families and go out on trips all the time.
Yeah.
So
let's go into that. What kind of trips were you doing?
I was taking international students up to Uluru and around Tasmania and Kangaroo Island. And then we also, the company I worked for also ran a lot of the outdoor education companies for a lot of the schools that don't have their own outdoor department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
Really fun.
Do you have like a highlight from that at all? Like taking a kid to Uluru or something in a memory that sparks?
I think my biggest memory is taking one particular group to Kangaroo Island. Yep. They were a bunch of Japanese students, and we were at Hanson Bay, staying in accommodation there, and we went on a night walk.
Right.
And we walked out towards the beach, and there is no light pollution on Kangaroo Island. So it was pitch black.
Wow.
And the sky was completely clear, and the stars were unbelievable. And this gorgeous Japanese kid came up to me and grabbed my hand and started crying. And I thought, oh, God, what's going on? And I said to him, are you okay? He said, I've just realised how small we are in the universe.
Right.
He said, I've never seen stars before.
Is it because where he was from it was so polluted?
Absolutely.
Wow.
He had never seen stars before.
That's insane.
And that was a baptism of fire of stargazing.
Yeah.
Like it was extraordinary. There were shooting stars. It was beautiful. I think I have done a lot of really cool trips, and we've climbed incredible mountains in Tasmania, and we have seen some incredible things in the outback. But it's funny that you just said what was one big moment. I think that was really huge for me, actually. This child from Japan who was 15 and had never seen stars before.
That's crazy to think, hey.
Really interesting.
Okay, go back to Channel 9.
Channel 9. So I left that company, and I had always wanted to work in television and radio, and I had done bits and pieces here and there, but I ended up working for Channel 9, and I worked on postcards, which was a really fun tourism program, which I loved, and the team on that was brilliant. They were great fun. I also did a bit of reception work as well, a bit of work in the newsroom as well.
On postcards, were you in front or behind the camera? I
did do some in front, yeah. And then I got a job hosting a food and wine program.
Oh, perfect.
Which was cool. So that was called Sumptuous, and that was really fun. So that was a good season. Again, a really lovely, very small team, but I loved it. I felt a lot of pressure. I felt more pressure than I thought I would have in front of the camera.
Do you find there's something similar between being in front of the camera and like being in front of a class of people? I do, and I think the difference though is that being on camera and also on radio, your performance can be replayed. Right. Whereas when you are in front of people, it's live and there's no record of it. It kind of just keeps on moving. There's I think the pressure's different. It's quite different. Yeah. It's interesting. I've never really thought about that before, but it's very interesting. I love good comparisons like that.
It is. It's good.
And then so from there, that's when you went to the Aquatic Centre?
The Aquatic Centre, yes. And I started up so along with doing group classes and aqua, I started up a mum's boot camp. This is where this is kind of leading into.
No, that's where I was going.
So funny, well done. So Friday mornings, I started the mum's boot camp for the Adelaide City Council, and we just kind of grew and grew and grew and grew and grew to the point where the creche would be booked out every Friday morning, and there was only capacity for 22 children.
Oh.
In the creche.
Yeah.
And so the mums would kind of have this little message group going on saying, I've cancelled this morning. Does anyone want my spot? Want my spot?
So that's competitive.
It was. It really was. But it was the most beautiful group, and it was a loyal group. And some of those girls are my very best friends today, which is beautiful.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So was there a point then when you took it over and rebranded to your own?
Yeah. So it was more a case of moving house.
Okay.
So my husband and I ended up moving to a house in Kensington Park, just off McGill Road, and it's really close to Kensington Oval.
Nice.
My kids started going to the local childcare centre and kindy, and then to Marrickville Primary School.
Right.
So in moving to Kensington Oval, I was still working at the Aquatic Centre, still running boot camps, but I did think, hang on a second, why am I doing this for the council when I could be doing this myself?
Absolutely.
So then I just started 2 mornings a week after school drop-off, just kind of recruiting mums as I went along, local mums, on Kensington Oval.
They're there anyway, so they might as well come and spend instead of spending an hour chatting in the playground, they might as well come and work out.
Exactly. And I've got this beautiful friend and client, her name's Lucy, and we actually went to kindy together.
No way.
So we've known each other since we were 3 years old, and I saw her in the school and I said, Lucy? She looked at me as if, who are you? And I was like, Susanna Hill. She's like, oh my gosh. And we hadn't seen each other for so long.
Yeah.
And she went, oh my gosh. So we started chatting, and she was actually one of my first clients that came on board because she was a Marrickville mum as well, and she's still with me. So 14 years, or probably 11 years later now, actually, she still trains with me, and
so good.
which is so great. And it just grew. And then another friend of mine, Jackie, she rang me and she said, Susanna, I've got some friends and we'd like to do 6:15 sessions in the morning. I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started with 4, and then it grew to 6 and 8 and 10, 12, and then we put on more mornings. So it was just this natural, beautiful growth and progression of friends and friends of friends. So we've got this gorgeous community of beautiful women all coming together and just spreading the love, spreading the word. And through that process, we now have this beautiful big business with 4 locations, a whole heap of great trainers, and 150 members.
So how did you go from one location spreading out into the 4?
I had another beautiful friend, old friend, who I knew a long time ago, who moved back to Adelaide from Perth.
Right.
In Perth, she had a really great boot camp group, loved it. And she heard about what I was doing. She's like, Span, please can we do it in Walkerville? She said, I will rustle up the troops. I'll get them together. Yeah. Please can we do it? And I was like, yes, we can. So we put it on different mornings. And that's when I got more trainers on board as well. And we just made it work. So that's been really fun. So that was when Walkerville started. And then another gorgeous childhood friend of mine as well, known each other since we were really young, she finished up at a Pilates studio. Right. It was actually closing.
Okay, yep.
So I'd been thinking about opening up a location at McGill. Yep. My son Banjo plays footy for the Hectorville Hounds, for the Heckies, and there's a great new sports centre there and a really beautiful oval and a big community. So I'd been thinking about it, and then Georgie sort of said, look, she rang, she said, my studio's closing down, I don't have a job. What can you do? What can we do together? Can we do something? And I was like, yes, we can. Right. Yeah. So we hit the ground running and we started up McGill. So we had a bit of a base clientele from her Pilates studio. So what we offered was very different from what the Pilates studio obviously offered. But that's what got that ball rolling. And then Unley. And then I was out at dinner with some other friends and I really wanted to open up a location at Unley, but I just couldn't find a trainer. And I was having dinner with this beautiful friend of mine, Vanessa, and I was telling her my dilemma, and she said, please, can I work for you? And I was like, what? She said, please, can I run them? And she's obviously a qualified personal trainer but wasn't working in the industry. She was doing some Pilates training at the time and other bits and pieces. But we kind of shook on it that night and we're like, right, let's get into it. So Unleash started, which was really good.
Yeah,
So that's how it's grown.
Where's your future plans to expand to if you have another dinner with another PT friend?
That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Stay out of Modbury, please, because that's my area.
I'll stay out of your hood. I won't stomp on your parade.
Stay out of my hood.
I would love to run something down towards the beach.
Okay.
It would be good. And also I've had quite a few people asking for OSX to head up to the hills as well.
Oh, cool.
So whether that's sort of Stirling, I don't think I'd go as far as Mount Barker because
I think that's very crowded with all that kind of thing at the moment. Like, yeah.
Yep. And also it's far away. So if just for covering sessions, it's just too far away to go really. But yeah, maybe Hillsy way. Yeah. So it's just a matter of finding really great trainers who are willing to commit and come on board and have the energy that we need to do what we do.
So do you put them through the bird test as well before you hire
them?
them?
I can see their bird characteristics after probably after actually 5 minutes. But that's probably a good thing to do with them.
And how do you go with having 4 locations? Do you have similar programming or each trainer just does what they want?
That's the beautiful thing about what we offer. Each of our trainers we're really individual.
Mm-hmm.
So my background really is kind of more of a functional fitness boot camp style training, which is what I did when I did my certificate 3 and 4, and I love the high energy, a bit more cardio focused, but obviously a lot of strength based exercises as well. And then Georgie, her background is personal training, but also Pilates and rehab and prehab. So she's got this beautiful energy about her that she just slows everything down, and she really hones in on very specific muscle groups, and she makes our members just really think about every muscle they're using.
Oh God, my muscles are burning just thinking about that kind of trainer.
She's amazing. I know, she's brilliant. And so she brings that Pilates aspect to the table. She's fabulous. And then Christy actually finished off her hours with me probably 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago, when she was completing her certificate 3 and 4 in fitness. And then she went and worked somewhere else, and then she came back to me, which is really exciting. Yeah. And Christy has a boot full of dumbbells.
Right.
So her specialty, she's got the beautiful energy. She's quite new to the industry, but she's intelligent and she is vibrant and she's so knowledgeable and she's so passionate. So she brings this boot full of dumbbells and everyone chooses their weights.
Love that.
And then, and she does these beautiful strength sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, just different again.
My setup is very similar. Like I have obviously the class type, so your cardio and your strength, and the yoga is like a yoga specific teacher, but the same thing. I don't do any programs. I just say you got to use weights for this class, go wild.
Great.
It's so much easier that way, because it honestly saves so much time when you let trainers do their best in what they're good at.
Yep, and it gives them autonomy and ownership of the class, and I think it also gives the members that variation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
So we also have Pilates. So Georgie takes Pilates on Thursday nights as well, which is great. So we have a lot of different classes.
I think that's really important when you've got like those cardio and strength classes going to also involve like a Pilates or a yoga class to like help them stretch out, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'll stretch when I get home. You never do.
Mm-mm.
Like I can tell you're not going home to stretch, mate.
If you're racing away now, you'll be racing when you get home. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it is really nice. I agree with boot camps having that kind of setup too.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to quickly ask, since you have 4 locations, do you ever bring them together for any events?
So in the school holidays, Georgie and I both have kids, families, and I've got a new trainer coming on as well, Rachel, and she also has kids, and as such, we have school holidays to consider ourselves as well as our members. So what we do in school holidays is we actually bring the locations together and we all join up at Kensington.
Love that.
Kensington Oval is kind of our HQ.
Yes.
And it works really well, and I think everyone's come to kind of just recognise that that's what we need to do as a small business to make it work. So, so for the first weeks, sort of 2, 3, 4 of January, all the sessions resumed on January the 8th on Kensington Oval. So people were welcome to come from the different locations and
Right.
join in there. So we had 25 people all coming out at 6:15 and 9:15 and then 6:15 p.m.
Yep.
All sort of coming out to do their training. So yes, we do, and it's really lovely.
Yeah,
It's good.
that's nice. And then I saw you also reached out to having male classes. How's
So we
that
have
going?
OSX Men.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for 2 years now, and it's brilliant. It's, you know, the concept of men's sheds.
Yes.
Yep, where the guys just get together and rah, 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 do their thing. It's really important. So we've been running OSX Men classes for 2 years, and they've been really successful. We've got a really beautiful core group of 14 guys who
Nice.
all head out on Mondays and Wednesdays, and they love it. They get to go out. They're just getting fitter and stronger all the time. There's that
Yeah.
camaraderie. There's that brothership.
Are some of
and-
them husbands of the ladies who come
Yeah.
out and they got jealous of the ladies
Yep,
having their
absolutely.
group?
Why
Oh,
can't we
that's so
come out
good.
too? Absolutely, yeah. And some of them even come out together because they can go to McGill together because that's mixed,
Oh, great.
which works as well.
Yeah, lovely. And then I like the way that because you don't really have a crate set up, you have the kids involved in the classes.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
Just I had my own babies at the time,
Yeah,
and they
right.
needed to come with me to work. And some kids, some sort of mums say, "Oh God, there's no way I could bring my kid out. He's a runner. She's a runner. There's no way." And I always encourage them to come out anyway, because the kids just slowly learn what's expected of them or what
Yeah.
they can and can't do. And they might be a bit clingy for the first few weeks, but then they make friends also with the other kids,
Yeah.
and they have so much fun.
Yeah.
So they generally sort of are peripheral to what we're doing, but they have their picnic mats and their
Oh,
snacks,
that's so
and but they're always welcome to use my skipping ropes or tennis balls or cones and things like that to have a bit of fun. But they just have a play. They bring their scooters out sometimes.
That's great.
So the kids, I think, look forward to it just as much as the mums do often.
Do you also think that having babies out there, because the babies are getting bigger, the mums are getting stronger, and then using them as your weights as well?
I've got a
Such
few.
a good concept.
It is. It's really good. I've got a few really cute photos and little snippets of us using children. So there's a really cool piece on social media that I videoed. I had this friend of mine, her daughter Maggie, on my back, like a weight belt, like and she weighed, I reckon she would have been probably 20 kilograms at the time, 24 kilograms. And so there's this little video of me doing 10 big, beautiful sumo squats with her on my back.
Yeah.
And then we sort of waved together the camera, and it got a lot of views, and it was really cute. So just that concept, and also littler babies, overhead presses,
fun.
lying them in front of the younger babies, lying them underneath the mum so they come down to a push up and a kiss. And
good.
yeah, so you can incorporate children into it if they need it or if the mum needs it. I often also wear a baby, so I'll have a baby pack on, and I'll be wearing a baby so so that their mother can train and get into it without
That's
having the
so
baby
fun,
on them.
though.
Yeah.
So once all these babies grow up, is there going to be an OSX Kids or
We
a
have.
teenagers?
We do OSX Kids. No, we
Oh,
do, which is cool. So we ran our first OSX Kids sessions, I think last year, and it was really great. And I would like to do more. My problem is that I have 3 of my own,
Yeah.
and between the 3 of them, we have about 19 extracurricular activities to get them to every afternoon. So
Yeah.
I struggle to fit my own life in after school, let alone adding in another one. But it is my plan to get them started again, because I think there's a real need for functional fitness and strength training and form training for kids,
Yeah,
and sprint
absolutely.
training, running training. Some kids can't even do somersaults anymore.
Wow.
They can't do cartwheels. And growing up being super active, that thought horrifies me.
Yeah, same here.
I really struggle with it. So I would really love to get OSX Kids going as a regular thing for kids who don't participate in regular sport
Yeah.
or who don't want to play a team sport. Then they can come out and they can learn those basics of running and walking and squatting, and so that they get some tummy muscles. They can do a sit-up.
Yeah.
I think it's so
They
important.
get just
So,
as
yeah.
excited as the adults.
I know. They love it. They love it.
So
Yeah.
good. And then so talking about your own training, how do you fit everything in?
That's my problem, Ella. I am severely struggling with that at the moment. I have been out to a few classes this week. I always encourage my trainers to just participate in any classes
Yeah.
during the week, which is really good. And I was thinking that I probably should go and join a gym just so that I've got an actual location to go to and set 3 days a week, 3 times a week where I go in, because I think as I'm getting a bit older and not training my body consistently enough, the risk is that I go out to training and my body's cold and I just lift up a 12 kilogram kettlebell or a 20 kilogram sandbag, and because I'm not warmed up and because my body is not consistently strong, I then injure myself.
Yeah, or a baby lifting a 24-kilo baby.
Oh, exactly,
while you're training.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a focus for me this year, focusing more on my own body and prioritising strength training for myself so that my body stays really strong for injury prevention.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree there.
Yeah.
And I think it also looks good that when like your clients are seeing how well you train, it kind of really reflects on your business as well.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Nothing better than a strong trainer and a strong people you're training.
Well, it shows that you're talking the talk and walking the walk and living what you're breathing what you live and live what you breathe, which is really important.
So going back to how we met.
Yeah.
Where did you become a mentor and teaching people their Cert 3s and 4s?
So that was 15 years ago when I did my course through AIPT.
Yep.
I loved where I did the course, which at the time it was called the Energy Clinic. It was on Sir Donald Bradman Drive, and it was this massive functional fitness warehouse with the most incredible energy and the most incredible trainers, and it was really, really cool. And I loved it, and it was quite close to where I lived as well, so it was easy for me to get to. So I did that course and loved it, and then I continued working for him. And then he got bigger, he was growing, and he needed someone to run the AIPT aspect for him. So I then went and studied my certificate in training and assessing, so the TAE certificate, so that I could then train and assess students myself. And I took over the AIPT aspect. And because I'd been in outdoor education and because I'd been a teacher in various forms for a very long time, it was a natural progression for me, and I really loved it. So I became campus director for Mile End and had a thriving business, and you were one of those incredible students.
Thanks. You know, it's actually, I was thinking about it the other day. I was talking with a girl that I actually did the course with, and I reckon it's 7 years ago that we did our course. I think I was 18 and I'm 26 at the end of the month. So, yeah, it was like almost 8 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
That's crazy to think where we've come from in 8 years.
It's really cool. It's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. And then so from there, how many years did you teach AIPT? And
6 years.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So the Energy Clinic closed down. The owner...
that was just after we finished our course, right?
Probably.
Within the year after.
It would have been.
So, yeah.
And he just came in one night.
Yeah.
With a shipping container and emptied the entire gym.
Oh.
And disappeared.
Yeah, I remember this.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Really, this towards the end of our course finishing or something? Or it just happened just after?
It was just before the next one started, because I had a whole lot of students all lined up to start.
I remember that.
Yeah. And professionally and personally, that was really devastating. It was devastating for me because I had this trust in this guy.
Yeah.
And just the previous day before he left, I put $4,000 into his bank account because we shared the business. You know, we did it together, and he was kind of pushing for this money, and I was like, yep, that's fine. And I did it. And there were a lot of trainers who worked at that gym.
Yeah.
And he just disappeared, and all of those trainers lost everything.
Wow.
And I lost that entire income of students because it was a really weird situation.
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know what he had to run from. I'm not sure. I still haven't worked out, and I have no interest. And I had a lot of dreams about bumping into him, and that it affected me for a long time, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I remember something weird was happening even when we were running the course. He was like not around very often, but yeah. So alongside running it with Millie, you guys were like a super team.
Oh, literally, we had so much fun.
This was Kat we were talking to, and we were like reminiscing on the days, and we're like, You two were like some of the best trainers. We're so glad we learnt from you two.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks.
Especially
Millie,
being in contact with you both still, like, saying 8 years now further on and seeing where you've got to. It's really exciting.
it's really cool. And Millie is one of the most highly functional human beings
absolutely.
I have ever known.
We've raced alongside each other in triathlon
yes,
ever
of
since
course.
too. So I'm like always seeing her ride super fast.
That's
But yeah,
beautiful. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. She's inspired me. And I think when she moved to Adelaide initially, we had a little meeting. She came to my house, and that's when she started working at the Aquatic Centre as well. So I got her in the door there. So she was working there, and everybody loved her there. And then with the AIPT work, I got her in as one of my lecturers, and
good.
she's a powerhouse, and we're a good team.
She was like part of the reason why I went to Step Into Life as well, because of the stuff that she spoke about it.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, well, which is now beyond because I brought it out.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next one is name a sliding door moment in your life where you've turned left or right to change like the projection of your future.
My trajectory. So this is an interesting question. A few years ago, I was running OSX and it was really good. It just wasn't very big. It was kind of plodding along.
Yeah.
And then I knew that Millie was doing her teaching degree, and I had been wondering for quite a long time, in fact, probably forever, whether I should go and do my teaching degree.
Right.
And I bumped into Millie at the very beginning maybe of COVID, and she's like, Span, I'm doing my teaching degree. And I was like, oh, she's like, do it with me. And I was like, oh my God, okay, this is actually a really good time. Let me think about it. And I had this sort of moment, I had a really big think about it. And I was at that point thinking, right, do I let OSX kind of do its thing and I keep working to get an income and go and do my teaching degree and become a full-time teacher? Or do I pull my finger out and really get stuck into OSX and make it a hugely financially successful business? And I came to the decision that I really wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
So I pulled my finger out. I have this beautiful client of mine. She's Canadian, and she started doing a life coaching course, and she needed some guinea pigs. She needed some people to start her work on and with. So I started meeting with Kristen every second week, and we talked about what I wanted. Having made the decision that I wasn't going to do my teaching degree, I then needed to sort out my direction and my plan of attack, I suppose. So we sat down and we met for a long time together, and we chatted, and she wrote things down, and her business, I think, is called Little Decisions, and she gets people to come to her with decisions they need to make, and she helps people to sort out the answers to them.
Yeah, so it's not a little decision, it's more like big ones.
Yeah, little ones that all add up to something that it becomes a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think through that process, I then decided that I needed a business mentor.
Okay.
So I then had been following this incredible business mentor group, and I ended up signing up with them. And those aspects have been this kind of that's your kind of your junction where I've really just got stuck into the business aspect of OSX.
Yeah.
And in the last year, I've more than doubled my business, and it's now just running beautifully. I've got systems in place.
Yeah.
I've got a wonderful bunch of trainers. I implemented finally a booking and payment system. So, because I used to work on an honesty system, Ella, like that's how I work my life. And people would pay me just for the term up front, and they'd say, oh, sorry, Susanna, I haven't paid you yet. And I'd say, oh, that's okay. I know where you live. And, but it was, and it mostly worked, but I'm sure that
there's a lot of people
forget. Yeah, but also people just forget. I know that, I forget things, and so I actually properly implemented this payment system, which was really good. So I just now get direct debits, and people don't have to worry about it as well, because it just happens automatically. They come out to as many training sessions as they have signed up for, and it just kind of keeps on rolling. So it's
So
taken
do
a
you
lot of
look
work out of my
after
hands.
every location, or the head trainer of all the locations looks after their own clients?
No, I look after everyone as a big group.
Yeah, nice. And then how many classes you're teaching yourself during a week?
I think I take about 8.
That's a good amount though.
Yeah, and then I also work for so I run sessions in the park, so the free sessions in the park for Burnside Council.
Oh, right.
And we've got this beautiful women's only group for the city of Port Adelaide and Enfield.
Oh, cool.
That's also there. And then I also have some beautiful NDIS personal training clients.
Nice.
And some other personal training clients that I teach on the oval as well. So lots of
How do you go
hands-on.
also with a bit of competition that's also on the same oval? I know there is another group that also train there.
Yeah, and it's funny because we actually went to uni together, so we've known each other for a
wow.
long time. And
Is this the old Step Into Life group?
no, because they're up at Kensington Gardens.
Oh, right. I thought it was them. Anyway,
No, yeah, no.
But anyway,
So-
so the oval I train at, there's like 3 different groups.
Yeah, that's
And so
tricky.
it makes, well, we're on different parts. One's a CrossFit group, which is fine. I know them anyway. And then there's like another group on the other side.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely harder.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yep. So the other girl who was training when I arrived on Kenzie Oval, there were 2 groups going definitely, but she has a little studio, so she's mostly indoors now. So she sort of does more studio work now, so
Okay,
that's not a problem, which
Yeah.
is fine. Except I have some beautiful friends who had been training with her forever, so they were kind of a bit torn. But I was like, no, you stick with her because she's awesome, and you know you've got your
Yeah.
group. I've got my group growing here, which is perfect.
Hey Mum, what's important of showing your kids how to be healthy and fit?
Good question, Daisy. Our kids are always watching, they're always listening to what we're up to. And by showing them a healthy lifestyle, it shows them how we should be living as
Yeah.
humans. By eating healthy foods and by moving lots, it just sets them up with good habits for life.
Love that.
We've got monkey bars in our living room, haven't we, Daisy? And so the kids all their lives have been going up and down these monkey bars in between the couch and the television.
I think I saw that you posted this a while ago on Instagram, and I asked you if that's what the whole family does during the ad breaks.
Not even during the ad breaks, during the actual movie.
Sometimes I even hang upside down and go on top of the monkey bars and watch TV from there.
I'm so jealous. That sounds so fun.
It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little setup, and all Daisy's friends are pretty impressed when they come over.
They all go home to their parents and say, why can't we have one of them? Because I want one of them too.
They do, but that's just so good for their upper body strength.
Absolutely.
And their bellies and everything else. So it's that incidental exercise is really good, and taking kids out riding on the weekends, getting them bikes, getting them used to riding as well to set them up for riding to school. Just good habits.
So good. And when you go away with them, do they all stand up paddleboard too?
They do. So Daisy has been sitting on my stand-up paddleboard with me since she was about 3 months old.
No way.
I had a special, it was called a tadpole life jacket for her. And I've got photos of her sitting in between my legs actually while I was sitting down on the paddleboard, paddling with her in front of me. And she was still doing it this summer at almost 7. And we've had lots of people at the beach where we go comment on the fact that they've been watching us do that for almost 7 years now, which is pretty special.
Crazy.
And she's a good little paddler herself.
So good. I reckon that was the first time we've had a kid on the pod to come and ask their mum that question. I've been waiting for that for
Daisy,
so long.
there you go.
Welcome to your podcast debut. You're welcome back anytime. So we just had a couple of listener questions come in. Firstly, my new co-host is going to ask the first one.
What's your fitness secret?
To do what you love.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a good one.
You can tell, I can tell people to do this exercise or this exercise or this exercise to get this particular benefit or to lose weight or get stronger. But if someone isn't loving what they're doing,
Yeah.
they're just not going to do it. So my motto is the best exercise is the exercise that you love.
Yeah.
And then some people may say, but I don't love any exercise, but at least enjoy. So there's no point in getting someone to run 5 kilometres if they hate running. So get them on a bike or get them into the pool or get them doing other things or train with a friend. So find something that excites you or at least makes you happy while you're doing it and do that for your exercise. Yeah.
What is the funniest excuse that you've had from a client for not wanting to do an exercise?
Oh my gosh.
I do have a few clients who like to say because they got a seniors card, they can't do exercises.
I think that a tricky one is, and it's not a funny one, but it's when people say, I'm too overweight to exercise. Because if that becomes their story, then they're never going to get that weight off and they're never going to get fitter and stronger.
Yeah.
So I just always encourage people, no matter what size they are, shape they are, what exercise experience they have, just to start.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
How good. Then the next question was, what are your new goals? So whether that is, let's just go with yourself. What are your fitness goals for the future?
My fitness goals, my fitness goals for 2024, I need to work on overall body strength, especially my back.
Yeah.
I will get back into some running as well.
Yep.
I like to be able to just think, I'm going to go for a run and just go for 5Ks and do it. And I can do that. I just need to do that more often.
Yeah.
So once a week, commit to a 5K run at least. And I love just saying to friends, right, I'm going for a run at this time. Would anybody like to come? And I often get messages saying, yep, I'm in. They'll come to my house or I'll go to their place or we'll meet somewhere and we'll do a 5K run. I think being able to just do a 5 kilometre run and feel great afterwards and not sore is just a really nice distance.
Yeah.
It's a nice time.
Exactly.
It can be social because lots of people can do that distance.
Yeah.
So overall body strength, especially my back, working on my back and just incorporating some more runs into my life. Yeah.
So good. The next one was, what's your average daily routine?
Do you know what?
You're so successful, she says. She wants to know how you fit everything in.
Oh, my goodness. No, that I do not have an average daily routine at all.
Yeah.
My alarm clock goes off at 20 past 5 every morning.
Hang on, I have to ask, are you a 1 alarm clocker or are you like a 10 alarm clocker?
So I have one alarm clock that goes off at 5:20.
Yep.
And then I do set emergency alarms at 5:30 and also 5:40, but I do get up always at 5:20 and then I turn the alarms off.
Right, yeah.
And then I get up and I sneak up and I put my gear on that's all ready for me. I brush my teeth, I get organised, I go downstairs, I have a cup of tea. I love my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I just drink half a cup of tea because otherwise I'm busting for a wee halfway through my session. So I have learnt that. And so I generally have a 6:15 to 7 a.m. session and then I get home. I get 3 kids off to school. I've got 3 kids at 3 different schools this year, which is it's hectic, and this week was definitely hectic, but we got there. Dropped a few balls, but we got there. And then I go straight back to work at 9 o'clock. Set up for my 9:15 and then often I have a 10:15 client as well. And then I might head home and have a bit of breakfast or another cup of tea and some water. And then I do anything from more personal training sessions, either in homes or gyms, or the council groups I've got in the middle of the day. I also, a lot of gym. With my business being as big as it is now, I've got a lot of admin to do.
Of course.
I have a lot of marketing. So at the moment, I've got a lot of Facebook ads running. So I have to respond to all those leads, ring them, call them, email them, text them, sign them up, get them into sessions. There's a lot of work that's got to be done. And something that I need to focus on is my finance aspect of my business and my accounting. So
spreadsheets are your best friend. That's all I can say.
I know, but I hate spreadsheets.
Honestly, once you set them up, it is like, so I have like an app where everything comes through, all the payments go through, all the invoices. The only thing I really use my spreadsheet is for how much I make at the end of the month and then how much I pay all the trainers.
Yeah, right.
And then I have it set up so then your tax is ready for when you go. You tell them everything that you've made and then everything you've paid out.
I need you to please show me that.
I will do that for you. I actually really enjoy that stuff.
Oh my God, I hate it. I
love
hate
it.
Oh my God, please, I will be forever thankful if we could do that together. That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'll come and be your new accountant. I love playing with numbers.
Oh my God, I've got my bookkeeper. Woohoo!
Absolutely, I'll do that. I love, now that mine's so set up well, I literally look at my accounting maybe once a month for about half an hour when I pay my trainers.
Right, I need that document. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But then afternoon we've got school pickup, we've got football, we've got water polo, aerobics, choir. New to Daisy's life is encore, which is musical theatre. I sometimes train footy teams as well, so I've got that as well.
So
It's
cool.
busy, and then we've got night class as well. We've got dinner, we've got shopping, we've got all sorts of things. So my days are varied. My days are long, but they're fun, exciting, and filled with really great people.
Where do you find time for yourself to like stop and chill?
That is a big problem.
Yeah.
I don't have enough of it.
I know, I agree.
It's a tricky one. And also time for my husband as well.
Yeah.
He's always kind of putting his hand up and saying, "Hi, what about me?"
You should say there's a men's class coming.
Yeah.
I'll train you.
Yeah. We've actually implemented Wednesday night date night.
I like that.
So feed the kids, get them all sorted, try and get Daisy into bed, and then we just walk around the corner to the Kensington Hotel
I love
and have
that.
a beer and actually talk.
She does walk around the block.
We do walk around the block. Otherwise, we just don't get a chance to
that's
sort of
so
see each other.
nice.
So that's a new addition.
What are you consuming at the moment? I know you don't have much time, but when you do have a minute, what are you podcasting, TV shows, books you're reading?
I need to get into more podcasting.
Oh, honestly, it's great.
Yeah, and I need to listen to them while I'm driving to places.
I've started doing that, and I bloody love it because
Yeah.
it's so much better than being like, oh, this is a crap song on the radio, and like not being able to control it.
Yeah. Mind you, I do use that time in the car to call people who I haven't spoken to for a while.
I do that too.
So I do feel like that's my time, the only time I get by myself to be able to actually speak to people and have a good
this
chat.
thing that every time I like leave work, as soon as I get in the car, I call my mum, and we talk every day for like 10 minutes.
That's beautiful.
Or else, like, I obviously don't live with them, so yeah, it's funny like that.
That's
Same.
good.
So yeah, same. My car time is when I chat and podcast and listen to.
Yeah. But I do. There's a book called Buy Back Your Time, and it's by someone, maybe Tim Martell.
Oh, tag it in the show notes anyway.
Oh, cool. There are a number of books, and I'd be very happy to send you the list from my business mentor group. So Dan Henderson, who owns his company, and then my incredible business mentor Beck Anderson, who I love, they often suggest books that we should be reading.
Yep.
And there's a focus on time management.
Yep.
Also books. So even the Barefoot Investor, things like that. I love those books. Just giving good hot tips in life as to how we can run our days and our lives and our finances and our homes better.
Yeah, love that. So when you do get a chance to go on social media, not for your business, who are you following, or what kind of people are you following?
I've got so many people I follow. I often click follow on people's accounts that put something up that resonates with me.
Yeah,
so I'm not a groupie towards anyone really. My business mentor, I listen to all of his bits and pieces. They're a team of 6 mentors now, and they all present pretty well daily. So I do listen to a lot of their stuff.
Yep.
And that's within a private group.
Yep.
Yeah, we pay for that service, so that's good. But yeah, I'm not a social media groupie.
All right, so now we're up to my favourite part of the podcast is 5 fast questions. So the numbers are between 1 and 20, and it's the first thing that comes to your mind is, well, you just got to spit out the answer.
Okay.
All right, so
Pressure's
first
on.
number.
4.
4. Something you look forward to in the future.
Overseas travel.
Oh, where are you going?
Anywhere and everywhere. Japan, especially.
I'd
Vietnam.
love to go skiing there, Japan.
That's where I want to go. Yeah, Niseko. Ruzutsu is my next port of call.
Next number.
13.
Stuck in an island, what's 3 items you take?
If I was stuck on an island, what are the 3 items I would take?
Yeah.
Is there electricity on the island? Can I take my phone?
No.
Oh, what would I take? I would take a container to make sure that I can collect water.
Yep.
I would take a hat. so that I can keep the sun off my face. And I would take Daisy.
Great. Daisy's collecting all the timber, all the wood. Hope you can start a fire, Daisy.
And I can eat her when I get hungry. Mum.
All right, next number.
18.
Number 18 is, if you could change one thing in the world, what are you changing? First thing that comes to your mind, don't think about it.
People's level of, I want to say happiness, but it's more like contentedness.
Yeah.
Because it's all relevant. Just for there to be better energy in the world.
Yeah, that's a good one. Next number.
8.
Okay, number 8 is 3 things that make you happy. We've got a real happy thing going on here.
Only 3 things. I have got so many things in my life, Ella, that make me happy. And that makes me happy. The fact that I've got so many things in my life that makes me happy, that makes me happy. That's number 1.
Yeah.
My family makes me very happy. And my love of movement and sharing that with others makes me really happy.
Next one.
Number 1.
Okay, number 1 is go-to song or artist to listen to.
Right now, I am just so excited about Pink because she's coming to Adelaide and I have bought my tickets and I can't wait. But do you know what? I'm actually really, really set on winning some way better tickets.
Yeah.
So please stand by
Yeah.
and cross your fingers for me
You
because
know what's funny? I wanted to go to that. She's here on my birthday, but I got tickets to the Matildas and I'm flying to Melbourne on the morning of my birthday to go and see the Matildas the next night.
Oh,
But, like,
that's going to
I'm
be amazing
obsessed
as well.
with soccer, so I'd rather go and watch the Matildas. Because if they
brilliant.
win that game, it's the Olympic qualifier too.
Oh,
so it will be a
brilliant.
good game.
Oh,
I
that's
think
fun.
we got one more. Daisy, have you been counting?
One more question.
One more? Yep. All right.
Number 20.
Number 20 is your biggest fear.
My biggest fear, this gets a little bit deep, is actually dying before I'm ready.
Really? I agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely.
I just think of dying dying before you've completed everything. It's more that not knowing when it's going to happen is what freaks me out.
Yeah, completely. Like too much.
Yeah.
My relationship with death I need to work on, seriously.
You're not the first one to say that, though. It's
Oh,
come up
really?
many times in this podcast.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Is that because we just love life so much that I don't know what it is, but definitely that is my
Hectic,
biggest
hey?
fear. It is, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's no way you can get around it.
Yeah.
Or
Just
know
happens.
anything. Yeah, so that's my biggest fear. Welcome to my heart.
All right, Daisy, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to jump on that microphone?
Yeah, you've got to use a big voice, okay? You change your
All
mouth.
right,
change your mouth.
Daisy,
Okay, ready?
quick power question. What's your number between 1 or 20?
What number would you like to ask the question? Just say a number between 1 and 20.
What's your favourite number between 1 and 20?
10.
10. Good one. Okay, if a movie was made about your life, what's the movie going to be called? That's a good one.
Whoa. What do you think it could be?
The Adventures of Daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy,
you like that?
Daisy and the...
Sausage Dog. Because you've been playing with Sadie.
Daisy and Sadie.
Can you imagine the adventures you could get on with Sadie? At least she knows she'd protect you.
That'd be cute. Do you have another name for a movie that would be about you? No? What's another number? Pick another number.
7.
What's your favourite drink?
That pink lemonade stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's a good one.
There you go.
So thank you for coming on. I'll tag all your every businesses and everything in the show notes. So if people are on the eastern side, they can come and join you.
Oh, cool. Thanks for having me, Ella. That was
You're
fun.
welcome. I'm
It was really
glad.
fun. I still feel like we could just talk for another 2 hours
How
about
good is it?
all sorts of things. That was really.
That's the joy of podcasting, though, right?
Definitely, just a big chat opens up all sorts of little doors and cans of worms and
Absolutely.
feelings. And that was really great. So thanks so much for having me
Perfect.
today.
Thank you.
That was great.
Wow, she is honestly such a bubbly and incredible, inspiring woman. Alongside my little co-host Daisy, you may have heard her jump in a few times. She was super helpful. So, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. Please go and share it to your social medias, to share it to all your friends. Don't forget to like, subscribe on wherever you're listening. And don't forget to have a wonderful rest of your day. Have the best week and see you next Wednesday. Bye.